we have reached a point like in the world where women are pioneers and they are reshaping history in various fields on a daily basis. So we have come along personally and professionally. We have come along a very long way. But when it comes to managing personal finances or building financial security, women still need considerable changes in their attitude. So, and this has a lot to do with preset gender expectations by society, by our communities, where oh, the man is supposed to run the house, or the man is responsible for finances, and like these kind of stereotyping is there. But we have to overcome that because that is the need of the hour for women in today's world, which is full of uncertainties. So, women who are financially independent can not only contribute to everyday household expenses, but they build security, stability for the unexpected turns of life. And financially independent women are capable of taking their own decisions. So, that means having financial know how aids you in pursuing your dream. So, to resolve our financial dilemmas and challenges, we face as women across different stages of our life. We have Mr. Nandish Desai, who is the co-founder of JagoInvestor.com. Nandish is an author, a blogger, and a financial coach. He founded Jago Investor in 2008 along with a partner, and today they have benefited more than 6 lakh investors across India and abroad with their body of work. Nandish has worked with thousands of investors and has conducted workshops for companies like HPCL, Airbnb, Symbiosis, Tata Communications, BSF, IAS Officers Academy, and many more. He is known for his thought provoking ideas and unconventional coaching style. And all of this sort of reflects in his dream for introducing money as a subject in various schools and colleges. Nandish has also authored a book called 11 Steps to Achieve Financial Freedom with CNBC. So you can look up that book either on their website, javainvestor.com, or buy it on Amazon as well. So welcome, Nandish. Welcome to JKYog's International Women's Day celebration. Thank you for taking out time for us, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Rachna. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. So I have how much? 30 minutes?
45 minutes. We
45
can do
minutes.
Q&A as well. Yeah, so audience, you can type in your questions in the chat window and we can take it at an appropriate time.
Okay, great. So uh, I'm going to talk on personal finance. So let's get out of the beauty and all that stuff and talk about money. Let's get a little greedy now and talk about money. So about Jago Investor, I think Rachna has already shared, but then we started Jago Investor in 2008. And I was in my family business at that time, and my partner was working with Yahoo. And then we were both passionate about educating investors, and that's how we started Jago Investor. So Jago Investor is more like a movement where people come and learn about personal finance. And it's been now 13, 14 years, and it has been an amazing journey for me and for my team and for my business partner. So these are the books that we have written. I think a lot of us, we spend a lot of money on, you know, having a home theater at our home, but then we don't have a personal finance library at our home. So I think it's very important to build a personal finance library. So you can start with these 2, 3 books or any other books that you like. And let me share about what we do in just one paragraph. So I think we have the most wonderful job in the world where we find people in various stages of sleep in the area of money. And then we get a chance to tap them on the shoulder. And then we wake them up to the possibility of wealth creation. So that is what me and my business partner, Manish Chauhan, and my entire team, this is what we do day in and day out. So I think wealth creation is possible for anyone. Anybody can do that. It calls for discipline. If you're clear about the principles of personal finance, anyone can create wealth. So what is financial well-being? I'm going to talk about financial well-being for the next 40, 45 minutes. So financial well-being is a state of being wherein a person is making the most efficient use of whatever financial resources that you have. And you are able to absorb any kind of financial shocks or any kind of emergencies. And you are able to meet your current and future financial goals. and ultimately you have complete peace with with money. See, in 2007, 8, if somebody would have asked me what is the most important thing in my life, I would have said money. But now I see money as a space. It is a space which has three elements in it. Money comes into my life, money stays in my life, and money grows in my life. So if I really create value out in this world, money will keep coming in my life. If I spend less than what I earn, and if I earn more than what I spend, then money will stay into my life. And number three, if I invest money and practice compounding, and if I stay disciplined, then money will actually grow in my life. So I really invite all of you to now look at money as a space for the next 30, 35, 40 minutes and see what is happening in your financial space. And whatever I'm going to cover in this next few minutes, I think knowledge is not about volume, it is about understanding. So if you pick even one thing from this session and if you really apply it to your financial life, I'm sure it will help you in taking one step ahead, and in going to the next level. So bring in a lot of honesty in the area of money. Keep an open heart and mind and see all the 8 steps that I'm going to cover where, which step really can help you in your financial life. Now, this session is designed for women, but I think men and women is our story. For money, there is nothing men and women. It loves men the same that it loves women. I think there's no, for money, everyone is same. And I think when it comes to money, we all belong to the same religion and same thing. So, but there are certain things which, yes, it does differ for a women. So I'll try to cover them in the session. Now, this is the first principle I want to start with. It's called get versus give investor. It's get versus give life. So let me give you an example. Let's say there are two farmers and both of them, they have the same size of farm with them. One is really focused on giving the right seeds, right amount of water, right fertilizers to his farm. And the other farmer is only focused on getting money from his farm. Now, which farmer will have more edge over the other one? The get farmer or the give farmer? You can write in the chat box. I'm sure your answer will be give farmer. Right. The same now applies to our financial life. We live in the world of getting. It's like getting, I got a job, I got married. Even in this session, we feel like, what can I get from these sessions? What can I get from this entire day event? Now, I think life is really not about getting, life is about giving. So a lot of my clients and a lot of investors, I always tell them that instead of playing a want song in your mind, I want a house and I want car and I want this and I want that, look at what can you give to your financial life. So the equation here is very simple. A get investor will focus on needs. Like I need a car, I need this, I need that, I need a bigger house, I need a vacation, all of that. A give investor will focus on putting the right seeds. What seeds can I put into my financial life? If you give time to your financial life, if you give consistency to your financial life, if you give discipline to your financial life, then all that you want in your financial life will enter into your life automatically. If you want your income to become 1 crore, you have to contribute worth 1 crore in your field. Your income will automatically become 1 crore. So wealth happens on the other side. We think it's about getting something, but wealth happens on the other side of the river where it's about giving. So look at what can you give to your financial life. Make a list of things that you're going to give to your financial life the next 365 days. On the get side, the focus is more on what can I get from my financial life. And here the focus is more on what can I give to my financial life. Here on the left hand side, you're more like a consumer. What can I get? What can I get? And on the right hand side, you're more like a creator. The word wealth creation, there are very few people who focus on the word creation. It's a created thing. A lot of people only focus on the word wealth, but it's wealth creation. They go together. It's a created thing. And creation is all about giving. The more you give to your financial life, I think the more your wealth grows. And I think the first thing which everyone needs to give to your financial life is your time. See, when we wrote these books, the first book took a lot of time. Second book did not take a lot of time. And third, we could write very, very fast. Now, one of the things that we learned was to write a book is not difficult, but to sit to write is difficult. So we then placed writing book on our calendar, and I blocked my time every day, morning 6 to 8, I'm going to write. And that's how we were able to complete our book faster. Now that's from where I learned this principle that is personal finance on your calendar. How many of you can write in the chat box, is personal finance on your calendar? Like from morning till night, you are working for money, you're doing so much of effort, but then you really give time to your financial life, like no mobile, no Netflix, no Amazon, nothing, and just giving quality time to your financial life. If you start doing that, you'll start to manage your financial space very, very powerfully. Now I'm going to share about these 8-point action plan, for the financial well-being. So the first one is saving versus investing. I request, do not scratch on the screen, don't make such lines, and don't do that.
Yeah, Nandish, I think if you disable the annotation, I think that will help.
How do you do that?
With- So on your screen share, there'll be a top bar, and
Yes.
there'll be some option on the top, on the extreme right, on disabling annotation. Like there'll be three dots. If you click on those three dots, there'll be a disable annotation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've done that.
Yeah, so I think you can reshare and then disable annotation. Just the ones which have already been annotated, they can't be undone.
Not an issue. Fine.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Nandish. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that I want all of you to always remember is, do not mix saving with investing. I think this is the first principle you should keep in mind. These are two different things. A lot of people think saving is investing. मैं अगर कुछ पैसा बचा रहा हूँ तो वही saving, वही investment है. No, it is not. Saving and investing are two different things. So what is saving? Saving is the amount left at the end of each month after your expenses are handled. So that is what saving is. Even if it's kept in savings bank account, it is fine, but that is saving. Investing is when your saving is invested in a financial product with an intention of growing that money in future, is called investing. Now, a lot of people mix saving with investment, but don't make this mistake. These are two different things. And let's see the impact of it, difference between saving versus investing. So saving versus investing, if we look at a 30-year period, so somebody is investing some money at 10%, it is invested. And if it is just there in your bank account, then this is the difference. This is where, this is the saving amount which gets accumulated, and this is the investment amount. So it is growing at 10% for 30 years. Okay, so this is the first rule you should always remember. Saving and investment is not the same thing. Now, are you a saver or a spender? It is a very, very important question. Or an investor. The definition of spender is expense is greater than income. You're using your credit card, you're a spender. The new iPhone comes and you're always the first one to buy. Saver is you saving but not investing. The money is there in the bank account. How many of you have idle cash in your bank account? It's not, there's no purpose given to that money. And I think the beautiful thing about money is it finds purpose on its own. So if you don't give purpose to money, it will find purpose on its own. And the third category is investor, where you're focusing on returns which are greater than inflation. We're going to talk about inflation in the later part of the session, but you have to choose where you are. Are you a spender or a saver or an investor? Can you please write in the chat box which one connects with you more? And there's nothing wrong, wherever you are is fine. But are you right now a spender, a saver, or an investor? Get really honest with your own self. The second action point, which is very, very important, and I think the lockdown has taught this to a lot of us, is the importance of having an emergency fund. So emergency fund is nothing but the money that is kept aside to cover the financial surprises that life throws your way. Now, who ever thought of there'll be a small virus which will lock all of us for a few months? And I was watching video of Jet Airways when Jet Airways closed down. So I was watching some video on YouTube, and the crew member and the people who were working with Jet Airways, they were saying that If Jet Airways closes down, then how will they handle their kids' education and EMIs and all of that? While watching that video, I really realized the importance of having emergency fund. So what if there is job loss? What if there is some sudden accident or some unfortunate event in your life? Or if there is any unexpected medical expense? Now, a lot of us, we had to get this corona test done and now vaccination and hospitalization. And a lot of people have spent a lot of money in 2020. So this is a very, very important thing. You should first build your emergency fund, and there is no rocket science in that. You can put around 3 to 6 months or 8 months expenses aside. If you do that, emergency fund is taken care of. Now, as this session is for women, so there can be maternity leave or any kind of such expenses can come, like doing a small ceremony or any kind of maternity related expenses. Then if you have money in your emergency fund, then it does not affect your future goals and you are able to handle them smoothly. So you can put this money into savings bank or FD or any kind of safer mutual funds. And when you put your emergency fund, the focus should not be on returns. The focus should be on availability. It has to be available when you want it. So bank FD or liquid mutual funds or short-term bond funds is absolutely fine to park your emergency fund. The third important point out of 8 is buying a term insurance, a life insurance policy. It's more like a foundation step. So which type of life insurance you should buy? So there are two kinds of policies available. One is an endowment policy, which is sold by maximum insurance companies, and 90% investors in India, they mix insurance with investment. So policies which combine insurance with an investment and returns an amount at the maturity or in between, they're all called endowment policies. Now, these are the policies you should avoid and go for a term plan. Term plan is a featureless product. The only feature it has is if you die, your family gets money. That's it. Okay. So I'm not getting into the calculation of how much you need and all, but then you can go for at least 1 to 1.5 crore of a policy. And if you are around 30-year-old, then it will not cost you more than 10 to 13,000 rupees annually. So for whom it is, for husband and wife, whoever is an earning member, how much you should take care of your future expenses, loans, and any goals. Thumb rule is around 10 times of your annual income. It's sufficient for a majority of people. Which type of insurance you should always buy? Remember, it has to be a term insurance. Don't go for any other endowment policies. Warning, don't buy life insurance as investment or as a tax saving option. A lot of people buy these policies just on the name of tax saving, but don't do that. Go for term insurance. Very, very important. So in life, you'll be always at various stages. You're single and then you're married or married with kids, or you buy a home or you have kids education, empty nest, and retirement. So these are the phases that you will have. So life insurance plays a very, very important role. I think till you have not built your first 1 or 2 crore, I always call these investors to be in the growth phase of your life. And when you're in the growth phase, you should always have that 1 or 2 crore of insurance with you, so that if something goes wrong, your family can handle it well. The next point is about health insurance. Again, a foundation level action. And I think in 2020, we have all realized how health is important. Immunity is like a word which has become very, very popular. So I think health insurance is extremely important. There are so many diseases which can hit us. And I think body is like God's most beautiful creation and most complicated creation. I think anything can go wrong. So it is very, very important that you have your health insurance in place. And how much? I think it has to be between 5 to 10 lakhs. And if you can afford more, then it can be 15 to 20 lakhs. That is the minimum that you should be having. You can go for either an individual policy where one person is covered, or an entire family is covered, which is called a family floater policy, which is absolutely fine. For parents, you can consider creating a medical emergency fund if they don't have a policy of their own. And you can also take tax benefit if you have health insurance under ATD. And type of medical insurance is Mediclaim, where you are hospitalized, you get money, critical illnesses, and personal accidents. So these are the policies which you can look for. The fifth point is diversifying your assets. You have an exposure to equity, and why it is important to diversify. So if you look at from 2010 to calendar year, different asset classes, they behave differently. Winners keep rotating. No single asset class continues to be a top performer. So it is very important to have a mix of them in such a way so that you have well diversification in your portfolio. So uh, I think nobody can predict, when this year will end, which asset class will do very well. So I think it's very important to diversify your overall portfolio. The number one enemy of investing, I think, investors, is inflation. Inflation is the number one enemy of our investments. It eats into your savings and investments. As time grows, the purchasing power goes down. So you should not just look at whether your money is growing. You should also look at whether your purchasing power is growing or not. And your investments have to beat inflation to grow, else it is of no use. So when you are in job and you're going to work till 55 or 60, now you have to make the most out of these years that you have. And in that, you have to make your money work harder so that it beats inflation. Now, these are some of the examples. Like a few years back, the kind of things that we used to buy, ordinary shoes. I remember I used to buy shoes from Bata and Action and all these. And then now the kind of shoes that I buy are very, very different, and they are pretty expensive. Even the watch and there's so many things. I think things have shifted, the world has shifted, the lifestyle has gone to the next level. There's mobile phones, Swiggy, Book My Show. There are so many. So I think the world is on a mission where they don't want us to save money, they want us to spend money. So it's a war. It's a war where if we really are not disciplined, then we will not be able to win. And in that, our enemy is inflation. Our enemy is, there are so many avenues to spend money. Okay, now this is something that I keep telling to all my clients. You have to bet your money on growth assets and not secured assets. So there's one example which my father always tells me, that when you go and bet money on a horse, in a race course. Now let's say I put 5 lakh rupees on a horse called Blackie, and now I'm shouting in the stands, Blackie, Blackie, yeah, Blackie will win. Now Blackie is not able to hear anything that I'm saying. It's Blackie can't do anything. Blackie will perform the way Blackie will perform. But before betting my money on Blackie, I can do my homework. I can see who is Blackie's father, Blackie's mother, how many races he has participated in, what is his history, what is the breed of that horse, who is the jockey. There are so many things to study about, and then bet my money on a particular horse. That's how people bet money on horses. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but it is the homework which matters. So growth assets, if you bet your money on growth assets, it helps you to beat inflation. The definition of growth asset is that the world sees them as risky assets, but it beats inflation. And secured assets are those where the capital may be protected, but it does not beat inflation. You will never find people, oh, somebody did FD and became a millionaire. No, you will never find that. Or somebody bought too many insurance policies and became a millionaire. No, it doesn't happen like that. So equity stocks, index funds, ETFs, real estate, these are all growth assets. FD, debt mutual funds, corporate FD, traditional policies, gold, silver, physical gold, these are all secured assets where it does not beat inflation. If you look at gold, I kept this slide because a lot of women are going to participate in it. Now, gold is not a bad asset class. It does not disappoint you when you buy gold, but be very, very clear that it does not beat inflation. And it's okay to have 15 to 20% or 25% of your total corpus into gold, but don't be very, very heavy on gold. Don't get carried away and fascinated by gold and keep on accumulating a lot of gold. Now, what is equity and why it gives maximum returns? Let's look at that. Like, the whole idea is you have to make your money work harder, because I'm sure a lot of you must be working for like 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, but our money can work for 24 hours if you really, make it work harder. So equity is all about ownership. You're owning something, so when you have a stock of a particular company, you're a small partner. You're having a small partnership into that firm. Now, if you look at 37 years of performance of Sensex and FD and gold and then you can see the difference. FD versus silver versus gold versus Sensex, which is equity. The difference is huge. 37 years, if 1 lakh was invested, here it gives me 36 lakhs in gold. Here it gives me 2.5 crore, by which I can buy a lot of gold if I want to. So it's not like equity is good. It's not like gold is bad. But the thing is, you have to make your money work harder, which is very, very important. The sixth point, which I really want to make, is start investing for retirement. Now, I have a question for all of you. Let's see, who can answer this. Now, what if you don't have sufficient money and the goal has arrived? So let's say you want to buy a car and you want to buy a 6 lakhs car and you only have 2 lakhs. What will you do? Or education or vacation or house or phone or marriage goal? Can you please write in the chat box, what will you do? What is the option available? Okay, you go for loan. Sunita is saying you go for loan. Perfect. Perfect answer. But what about retirement? There is no loan for retirement. Just remember that there's no loan for retirement. You go to the bank and tell them, can I get loan for retirement? And just see the kind of answer that you get. There is no loan for retirement. That's something that you have to build on your own. Just look at the retirement expenses, how they are going to grow in future. So today's 100 rupees, at the age of 60 will become 1000 at the age of 90. So you are wherever you are right now, when you will retire at 60, this is how the corpus will grow over a period of time. So and we should always remember that we will retire one day, but inflation will never retire. It will keep growing. It will keep growing. So retirement is like a very, very long vacation, which we all are going to enter into, and then you have to check right now how prepared you are for retirement. So how many of you can write in the chat box, you have not yet seriously started working for your retirement? How many of you are like that? How many of you not serious? You can write not serious. Yeah, Nitin is writing, a lot of others are writing not serious. So you got to see this session as a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for you. Wake up and start working on your retirement goal. Very, very important. Okay, let's go further. So what to do now if you want to build your retirement corpus? Start early, invest in equities, invest regularly, contribute and hold on to your EPF and PPF investments, and don't depend on others. See, when our kids will grow, they will have their own expenses. And then if you don't have your retirement corpus, you will have to continue working. There's no other option. The next one is do SIPs in mutual funds for future goals. I think it's very important to have discipline. I started investing in 2007-8, and now I can see that my wealth has grown because I was continuously investing into SIP. So retirement corpus, children education, house purchase, annual vacations, car purchase, children marriage, or any other sabbatical or charity or any other goal, you can really achieve them with disciplined investing. If you invest it on a disciplined way, you can always achieve that. Now let me little bit talk about mutual funds. So what is mutual fund all about and how does it work? So it's very simple. There are different stocks. Let's say Reliance and Infosys and HDFC and all these kind of stocks. Now we don't know which stock will do well. So then there is a fund manager who is appointed, and then we give money to the fund manager. The fund manager will choose different stocks on our behalf as an investor. And then whatever profit is generated by the mutual fund, it is divided amongst the unit holders. So that is how the mutual fund actually works. So he will take, let's say, 5% HDFC or 10% Reliance or 15% Infosys or 5% SBI. He will mix all of them in the right proportion. And then when these stocks do well, the overall value of the mutual fund goes up, the NAV goes up, and then the profit is distributed to the investors. Now, mutual fund categories are two as per the asset class. There is equity and there is debt. Equity is primary. They invest into stocks. It is high risk, high return. Be very clear about this. It has to be for the long-term goal. And debt is about low risk, low return. This use debt for 0 to 5 year kind of goals. And if it is 5 years plus, then go for equity. So this is the nature of equity. Equity funds, they are volatile. It can give you between 11 to 15%. And debt is less volatile. It can give you between 7 to 10%. And this is how the journey will look like when you are in equity. And this is how the journey looks like when you are in a debt fund. Now, SIP is very, very powerful. It's a disciplined way of investing. You can invest your money through your bank in an automatic way. It will deduct from your bank and get into the desired mutual fund. So first month, 10,000 goes into the fund. The second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, and you start realizing your corpus is growing. Now, when you are in the first 5 years of your journey as an investor, you will not really see compounding taking place. But after 5 years, 6, 7, 8 years, you start seeing your money growing. So give time to your investments. Don't judge your investments too early. Don't exit. Stay invested, and you see the results at the end. So what are SIPs? They're like drops of water making an ocean. So invest on a monthly basis. It gets directly debited from your bank account. That is what I said. Brings in discipline to investing. You get the best averaging because your money is getting into the market at different levels. Power of compounding at work. I think compounding has to be way of life. Everything compounds in life. If you are dealing with overweight, I think your calories have compounded in you. So everything compounds, and then you have to practice compounding. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And if you really understand compounding, you look at any successful investor, and the formula for wealth creation is compounding. Where you look at the definition of compounding, there are three elements in it: A, R, and N. So A is how much you invest, R is at what rate, and N is how long you stay invested. So that is the simple formula of wealth creation. If you practice compounding, your wealth really grows. Now, this is a very, very important slide. How many of you have money in FD? Can you please write in the chat box? You have money in FD. You have money in insurance policies. How many of you are like that? Can you please write in the chat box? Yes, Shubhra Das is saying yes. Now, see, on this side, I put the returns. On this side, I put the timeline, number of years. So how many years it takes your money to double? It's a very important question you should ask yourself. So FD, if it is giving me 3 or 4% or even 5%, then it will take many years for me to double my money. Just see how much time it will take. If it is at 4%, 14 years. In 14 years, my money will double. If it is 5%, it will double in 13 years. But if it is 12%, which is realistic, 10 or 12%, then it can really, double in 6 to 7 years of time. Very, very important thing to understand how fast your money is growing. Very, very important question. If you will just keep money in FD, if you will just keep money in your savings account, if you continue investing into those junk insurance policies, then your money will never ever double and your struggle will increase. The advantages of mutual fund is professionally managed, diversification. There are so many mutual funds, different types, convenient administration. It has return potential. It is low on cost, liquidity, transparency, flexibility, choice of schemes, well regulated. You have qualified advisors to help you, and it also helps you with the tax benefit. So these are different kinds of equity mutual funds. There's large cap, mid cap, small cap, and multi cap. In a very simple language, large cap is more like Amitabh Bachchan. Is like you take Amitabh Bachchan, some people will definitely come and watch the movie. Mid cap is more like who can you call in mid cap? Let's say Ranveer Kapoor or Ranveer Singh or somebody. And then small cap is more like Rajkumar Rao or those kind of actors where there is no surety, but then it can do well. So a small cap company becomes a mid cap and mid cap becomes large cap. That is the potential that companies generally have. And multi cap is a mix of all large, mid, and small. Debt is where we are lending money is what debt is all about, where we are lending money. So it is liquid mutual funds, short-term funds, medium-term funds, there are gilt funds, income funds, and credit risk funds. I think credit risk fund is something which a normal investor should avoid, because you can have bad experience in that. And then there is hybrid, which is a mix of equity and debt. Mutual fund suitability, let's look at that. So you have 0 to 2 year goal, you have 2 to 5 year goal, you have 5 to 8 year goal, and you have 8+ or 10+ year goal. So to make it easy for all of you, I've just kept these mutual funds into different categories. You can take a screenshot of this so that it helps you to pick the mutual fund. Now I'll not get into which fund and which AMC and all of that. I can't take product names in this session. Okay, clear this till this point. Okay, the 8th one is do tax saving and planning in the month of April. Like, don't delay it. So tax saving is very, very important. I see a lot of investors, they invest on the name of tax saving. Tax saving is part of your overall financial life. It's not the only thing. So you have to save tax, but meaningfully. So I put money into a term insurance. I have health insurance. I put money into an ELSS mutual fund. I don't even have a PPF account. I don't put money into 5-year FD. So these are the options. So you can save tax, but my invitation is save tax meaningfully. And wherever you are putting money, give some purpose to that money. Like why you're putting it over here. It should not be only tax saving. So when you're putting money into PPF or an ELSS mutual fund, then it should be for the retirement. Give some purpose to your money. So ELSS mutual fund, I always prefer ELSS over a PPF because it only has a 3-year lock-in, and historically it has given 15 to 20% returns, and I can take 1.5 lakhs benefit under for tax saving. So I think ELSS fund is very, very powerful. You should take benefit of an ELSS fund, and you can see in the graph it has delivered well, in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year, and 10 years time. So these are other ways by which you can save tax under ATC, NPS, there's medical insurance. See, taxation is a very, very wide subject. I cannot cover a lot of things, but I'm just giving you an idea about it. The point is save tax meaningfully and have optimization in the area of taxation. Okay, and the 9th one, the most powerful one, this is the bonus one, is participate and take charge of your financial life. Now, if your husband is managing your money, your father is managing money, then don't do that. Take charge of your financial life. If you're earning money, it is your responsibility to manage money. You can't say, oh, if personal finance is not my cup of tea, or I don't understand this. You can't do that. So investors do unplanned and ad hoc investments. Husband takes care of all the investments related decision. Tax season investments, relatives and friends as agents, they come and sell. You fall for sales pitch from bank relationship managers. There are certain flavor of the season, and there is herd mentality. If your friend is buying real estate, you also buy real estate. If your friend is buying a policy, you also buy that policy. Now, don't do that. You have to do your homework and then make your investments. What to do with your existing investments? If you've already done some investments, then cross-check your nominations. Who is the nominee in your investment? Because if you're not there, that money will get stuck. Cross-check bank details, cross-check addresses, assign it to one of your goals. Whatever you've invested, assign it to one of your goals. Put all documents together. How many of you don't have all your data at one place? If you will send an email to me, I'll send you a data sheet, but just see that you get all your data at one place. Consolidate your passwords and online logins at one place, because it's always in our mind, and if we are not there, then imagine how will our family get an access to it. Okay, clear till this point? Okay, great. The last conversation I want to do with all of you is this. There's a theory called 3G theory. I want to leave you guys with this theory. It's a theory very, very close to my heart. I think if I have to share one last theory and leave this world, then it will be this theory. 3G stands for what? Can somebody guess in the chat box what does 3G stands for? Anybody can share in the chat box. Yeah, and this theory, I was just thinking when I will reach 60, what will be really, really important for me? And then this theory actually came to me. So 3G stands for having three gurus in life. You're having three gurus in life. The first one is your health guru. So have a dietitian and a fitness coach with you. It's very, very important. I'm sure you will not exercise on your own. Number two, have a wealth coach, have a wealth guru with you. And number three, have a professional coach. I have a fitness coach, I have a diet coach, I have a music coach, and I have a business coach. I think when performance matters, you need to have a coach. A book will not help. Some online YouTube and all this it will not help. You need a coach. You have to sit with your coach, bring in a lot of honesty. And I've given highest priority to health. I'm not here to talk about health, but I've still given highest priority to health. And these three are like a three, it's like a tripod. If there's any breakdown in one area, the other two will lose its meaning. Just imagine you have 20 crores at 60 and your kidneys have failed. The 20 crores will lose its meaning. And your kidneys are fine and you don't have 20 crores, even that will not be a great position to be in. And your professional life, your work has to make a difference. All those people who have built wealth in life, their work has created impact out in the world. So this theory is very, very close to me. How many of you, please write in the chat box, you're going to implement this theory in your life? Just try it out for 1 year, 2 year, and see the kind of magic that happens in your financial life. I totally believe into this principle, and I'm living this principle from years, and it has really changed my life. Now, importance of having a financial coach, it helps you to avoid investments and financial mistakes. You can't afford to make mistake. It's your hard-earned money. So the coach will help you in articulating your goals and your investment objectives. Market will go up and down. So, at times you can panic, but if you have a good coach with you, your coach will always help you. Your coach will educate and empower you. Now, right now, what I'm doing is I'm educating and empowering you. That's my job. And then provides unbiased recommendations and second opinion and addresses blind spots. There are always some blind spots that we have. And see, I was watching Swamiji's videos, yesterday, and I could see that every video was helping me to understand and get me present to one milestone, one blind spot that I'm having. So it was very powerful. So thank you so much. You have any questions now, you can ask me. And there is this 25-point financial health checkup, which if you want, I can share it with you in the chat box. You can go through that so you can at least check how is your financial health, whether it is good, bad, or very, very bad. And then that can be a starting point for you to, start working on your financial life. So I put my email address. I know it has not been a very interactive one. I did not interact with anyone. But if there's any question which I could not cover, or you have any doubts about whatever I have covered, you can always write to me. I'll be more than happy to reply to you. And because this is a very, very spiritual group, I think, I was in the Himalayas just 10 days back, and I was then at the Rishikesh. So I highly recommend all of you visiting Rishikesh once. It's a great space to be in, and it's more like a embassy of spirituality. It's amazing. Like there's so much you will learn from there, and I really recommend all of you going there. Yeah, Rachna, I'm done.
Thank you, Nandish, for elaborating many concepts on saving versus investing, on compounding and mutual funds. I think personally speaking, your parallels that you drew about Bollywood actors versus how they equate to large cap, mid cap, small cap was quite amusing for me, and I think I'm going to remember that always. Now, since we put it in an interesting manner. And I think the career breaks that you were talking about, like women having like childbirth or ceremonies, etc., and how building a personal wealth portfolio is equivalent to saving for all these, all these occasions or for a rainy day like this Corona situation and all. Most importantly, the hard-hitting fact that there is no loan for retirement. That's one thing that we all have to realize. We're not, we cannot be earning all the time and every single day till we die. So it's a very hard-hitting fact. So one more important learning was the emphasis that you laid on the need for mentors. health, wellness, careers, even in spirituality, we need mentors. And Swamiji actually has dedicated a whole chapter in his latest book, Seven Divine Laws to Awaken Your Best Self, on the need for mentors and what do they do for you. So it's very reassuring to hear it from you also, Nandish. So to the audience, if you have questions, then we can take maybe let's say two or three questions we can take. Otherwise, Nandish has been very generous to give his personal email ID as well, so you all can write to him also. Do visit their website jagoinvestor.com for any. They have a lot of blogs there, so if you want to get more deeper understanding personal finance and related concepts, you can read up a lot on their website also.